Hey everyone, Once Bitten here with the battle report. So, I brought out my Empire army again against an Ogre army. This player is someone I've never played before. He just moved down to the area from up in the northeast. So very excited to get a couple games in with him. Brought him over to my garage. We're doing the first game with my Empire, and the second one we're going to do a Bretonian campaign game. So I called this one Bring Out Your Cheese because I asked him to bring the just as rock hard of an army as he could, because this is my tournament army, and I don't like showing up to tournaments and getting surprised by stuff. So I'd rather just start facing some tougher lists when I play my normal games. I think my Empire army, if I were to score it on the Swedish comp, I think it scores around a 6, and he said that his scored less than that. So I would consider them equivalent lists, hopefully, if there's any credence to the Swedish comp. So on the far right, you can barely see it, but on the extreme right, he has a saber tusk. It's got 6 lead belchers, 4 Mournfang. Of course, they have the Dragonhide banner. There's an Iron Blaster on the hill. Big gut star. Let's see, there's 15 Iron Guts and 3 characters equipped as you can see them. And this is one of the things that I mean, it's not a big deal, but the Rune Mob banner is always a thorn in my side, because you have a unit it's so big, so tough, so many wounds, so high strength. It's hard to touch them in close combat, and now you really can't touch them in Magic either. So the only thing you can do is shoot at them. And with the new Monstrous Infantry rules, when a cannon shoots them, there's a real good chance that one guy can stop the cannonball. So just really hard to whittle this unit down. There's another Iron Blaster, and then to the far left there's 2 more Saber Tusks. On my far right, put my Captasis over here. My thought was, if I can, clear out the Saber Tusks so he doesn't cause problems later, and then threaten his lead belchers with maybe a flank charge or something. I think if he can charge them to the flank, he's got a chance of being all right. Got some Pistoliers, got my artillery battery on the hill with the Magister Engineer right between everything. My steam tank, 9 inner circle knights. I've got the Standard of Discipline and a warrior priest. So I've been using Arch Lector over here, but I figure there's only 2 in the world, and I've killed them like 10 times, so I'm just going with the warrior priest now. Don't know what I think about this build with the Van Helms or Van Horstrom Speculum, but thought I'd give it a go. Right now he's my general. I'm thinking about making my Wizard Lord the general. Anyway, I don't know. But anyway, they've got the Standard of Discipline because his leadership is only 8. Celestial Hurricane behind them. Big unit of Halberdiers. They've got my... I made a big unit filler with... it's a wall with some guys kind of going around it and a guy kind of hanging off the fence. Anyway, there's that. So I've got 3 characters in there. My Wizard Lord, Warrior Priest. He's naked. He's just to give them hatred, and I have him on the corner because I don't really want him in the fight. And my Battle Standard Bearers in there. Then I've got 4 Demigryph Knights, and they've got the Banner of Eternal Flame. So the big question here is who gets to shoot first. He's got the insanely accurate Iron Blasters, re-rolling the balance. And of course I've got a Steam Tank, 2 cannons. Yeah. So thankfully I win the roll to go first. I move up like that. Here's me on the left. Yeah. So I go to shooting. For the Steam Tank, hits his Iron Blaster, it rolls a 1 to wound. And I made the comment, oh, it's going to be one of those games. And that was the reverse of prophetic, because then I just lit him up. So another cannon hit this Iron Blaster, wounded it, killed it, and then his Gut Star failed its rerollable 9 panic test and ran right off the board. So we kind of looked at each other, and I'm like, put him an inch on, because I don't feel like setting this whole thing up again, and there's no point playing the game without your Gut Star. So we both agreed that'd probably be the best thing to do. So they failed their panic. I mean, really? And my other cannon misfired, but just couldn't shoot this turn or next, and we go to his turn. He's kind of I think his plans just got changed, because instead of rushing forward, he's got to hang back and stay, keep his Gut Star kind of near other things. So he really only does what you see there. His Saber Tusk does jet around my Demigryph Knights. I need to be more careful about that. Really, I'm not worried about the Saber Tusks doing much except redirecting or whatever, but you never know. Over here, Lead Belchers open up on my Pistoliers, and he only kills 1. Now, one thing that it was funny. It was one of those friendly arguments where you're arguing for the other person's benefit, but he played the whole game as if his Lead Belchers suffered every 2-hit penalty as other shooters would. And I kept on saying that as everybody I play against says that they ignore one of the penalties. And so finally, when the game was over, we looked it up, and indeed, he had that rule wrong. So they only killed one. Had he played the rules right, he likely would have killed more than one. So yeah, there's that. Empire turn 2. Overall, it looks there. You see my halberdiers are kind of blocked behind that building. I did that because I was assuming he was going to come rushing in, and I kind of like the idea of the building blocking my essential characters. And now it's kind of, it's not a big deal. It's just kind of slowing me down. Going to try to shoot my detachment at the dog, at the saber tusk. So here's a rules question we had. The Hurricanum is giving the halberdiers the +1 to hit. Does that benefit confer onto the detachment that's within 3 inches? Because that detachment's already going to be steadfast. I assume it's going to have the hold your ground, or whatever the rule's called, where they're basically cold-blooded. They're going to have hatred. Pretty good stuff there. But do they get the +1 to hit? Does that benefit confer as well? We're going to play it as if it doesn't, if it comes up, because until I know for sure, we're not going to do it. So yeah, over here it looks like that. Empire turn 2. Yeah, so the steam tank opens up, kills the other iron blaster. Yeah, I mean, just little things. Everything's going my way. I mean, you have to hit it. Just don't roll a 1, and then do you roll enough wounds to kill it? This time, his Guts Star decided to stay on the board. The detachment, they kill the saber tusk. Who knew? And Ogre's turn 2. Again, what's he going to do? I don't know if he tried to charge his Guts Star at my Demigryphs or not. If he didn't, I don't know why he didn't move his guys forward more. But anyway, overall it looks like that. I took a gambit on the right-hand side. I parked my Captasis in the flank of the Leadbelchers because I knew that he could reform and shoot at me, and I was hoping that if he reformed, he would fail his leadership, I believe, 7. And if he doesn't, then I might be in some trouble. Yeah, he passed it, so I might be in some trouble there. Oh, by the way, he shot at me, did 1 wound. His dice are not with him today. So Empire turn 3. Yeah, again, overall, it looks like that. I'll go ahead and charge the Captasis into the front of the Leadbelchers. I know he's going to die. Why not? Another option would be just fly him around, put him behind his lines, save him for a redirect or a rear charge later. But this isn't a tournament. I thought it might be fun just to see if he could get lucky. And he would have to be insanely lucky, because that's, 18 attacks coming at him. Go ahead and get one of the cats out of the way over here, or the second of the 3 cats out of the way over here. And let's see. Cannon blows itself up, and luckily my Master Engineer this time does not fail his panic. It seems like he usually does. Runs right off the board. The Hurricanum did, or the Hellblaster did, so it's not going to be able to shoot on my next turn. Cannons open up on his Guts Star. The thing still looks huge, but keep in mind that started off with 18 models in it, and he's down to, my guess is 13 or 14. So I've been doing some damage to him, but there's just so freaking many of them. And over here, yeah, Captasis does 0 wounds on the Leadbelchers. They did plenty. The Pistoliers, because I wasn't thinking about it, they had marched up to shoot the Sabertusk. They only did 1 wound. They were within 6 inches, so when Captasis died, they failed to panic. I thought that was kind of a silly mistake on my part. Sabertusk easily died over here. I'm glad I'm pretty far away from his guys. I think he's going to need at least a 9, probably a 10 to get to me, and I really don't want him to make that charge. The only good news is, if he does make the charge, I think I can concentrate on the rest of his army, leave this unit alone, and probably pull out a victory. The problem is, if this were a tournament, he just has so many points in that unit that it wouldn't be much of a victory anyway. Ogre's turn 3 tries a charge. He fails it on the left. Sets up for a beautiful steam tank charge into their flank. His Mournfang tried to charge my general's unit. Again, I think he needed a 10, and he rolled a 9. Failed it. Yeah, that looks good. Let's see over here. He left my Pistoliers alone. He didn't charge them because he didn't want his units failing to charge way back there. He didn't think he'd be able to complete it after I fled, so he just shot them. So Pistoliers are gone. Empire turn 4. Yeah, Steam Tank was crashing into the flank of the Guts Star. I was thinking about whether or not to take my Demigryphs into their front. And that's a really hard decision because, one, he has one character with the Savage Beast to Horus up. So there's one character that's going to put wounds on anything he tries to put wounds on. I like the idea that Demigryphs would swing first, and I might be able to kill some Iron Guts, but really, even if I do, I mean, if they hit and do well, I'm still only going to kill a couple. He still has tons of them left, and they're Strength 6 coming back. My thinking was I'm going to slam this Steam Tank in there first, hopefully whittle him down, let him have his turn. On my next turn, I'll have some grinding attacks, and then charge Demigryphs in. I think the Steam Tank can stick around at least that long. Otherwise, if you look here in the middle of the table, I'm really just trying to... I'd rather my Halberdiers get in combat with this Mournfang than my Knights, unless I can get the charge on him, and I don't want to fail charge. Actually, I think I did fail charge. I think the Inner Circle Knights failed it, and that's why they are where they are. So we go over here. His character does 2 wounds to my Steam Tank. So I wasn't really unhappy about that. I think I'm okay. I came crashing in and did... I think I killed 2 maybe 3 models on the impact hits, and then I had a breath weapon, maybe killed another one. But the Steam Tank did a fair amount there. Let's see, over here I wasted a cannon shot on his Saber Tusk, but I figured if I didn't, the Saber Tusk was going to come wreck my War Machine, so there's that. Here it is. This is the picture I was looking for. So I got confused in the last picture. The last picture showed that Steam Tank had 2 wounds. That's because I misfired, and I gained 2 steam points and lost 2 wounds. So I had 7 steam points. I'm sorry. I had 6 steam points with which to work. So I go crashing in, look at all the missing Iron Guts. At this point, I'm really wishing I'd put my Demigryphs in there, because if they killed another 1 or 2, his unit really would have been down. But his characters, one of them with Savage Beast up and the other one just normal, they do, let's see, I'm down to 4, so I've suffered 6 wounds, so they did an additional 4 wounds on the Steam Tank, and you don't see that happen very often. So luckily on his turn, that Savage Beast is going to go away. I'm hoping he doesn't get it back, and then my Steam Tank can stay around long enough to get some more grinding attacks in there. But in hindsight, that was a mistake for the Demigryphs not to go in, because I could have, I think, really whittled that unit down. Anyway, Ogre's turn 4. His Mournfang tried to charge my General's unit. I'm really hoping they fail, and he missed it by 1. He can't make a charge to save his life. Over here, in the Magic phase, he gets the boosted version of Savage Beast up. So he's got 3 characters, plus 3 strength, plus 3 attacks. They make very short work of the Steam Tank. And now they're looking at my Demigryphs like, bring it on, and I'm not sure I want to. I am not going to charge in there with him with Savage Beast boosted. That's crazy. Over here, yeah, his Lead Belchers open up on my Inner Circle Knights and do 3 wounds. And he's got the Curse of Honor here up on him. So now it's not very tempting to charge the Mournfang. What looks a lot more tempting is to use the Hellblaster on the Mournfang. So that's my plan. I do not charge the Demigryphs in. I back up my Knights. I move up my Halberdiers. My plan is that if his Mournfang charge my Knights, I'm just going to run. I'm not going to let him crush those guys and then get behind my lines. Plan is to take the cannon, shoot. Really, I'm in the flank of the Iron Guts, and I don't know how that's supposed to be played, but we are not playing it like a bolt thrower to where it gets like a magical turn to go all the way through his lines. But even then, because of his flank, I can hit 3 models. So if the cannon can pick off 3 models of the Iron Guts, if the Hellblaster can... I've seen the Hellblaster tear up cavalry. These guys have a 2-up. That gets modified to a 5-up. The mistake I made was the Engineer was supposed to move over and give his benefit to the Hellblaster, and I forgot to move him. So that's really going to hurt, because I don't really need him on the cannon. I need him on the Hellblaster, and they're not going to get that benefit. So that was kind of a screw up. So yeah, I shoot it with the cannon. I hit, and I roll a 1 to wound the first model, and it fails. So kind of an epic fail there. Yeah, that's just showing what my cunning plan was. Hellblaster opens up on the Mournfang, and I do 4 wounds, so I'm not going to complain too much. At least I got 1 down. I really think if I had the Master Engineer there, that would have caused him some problems. At least, if nothing else, I think it would have taken a final 2 wounds off another Mournfang. Regardless, that's how it is. That's how it is. Go to Ogres turn 5. He charges my knights. I still don't want any of that. They flee. Her cannon fails its panic test. It flees. That's kind of a bummer because that was going to give +1 hit on my halberdiers. Mornfang redirect into my halberdiers. I am comfortable with that. I've got my BSB behind them. They'll be they have the warrior priest who's not in combat, so they'll be 8 rerollable to stick, and certainly they'll be steadfast. And his Iron Guts Star, of course, charges into my demigryphs. The only thing I've going for me there is Savage Beast will go away, and I'm hoping he doesn't get it back. Either way, I'm probably in trouble. The symbol by the halberdiers means that during my magic phase, I got a 5+ ward, so that's going to help. And there's my Inner Circle Knights running away. Discretion is definitely the better part of valor. Check them out. Halberdiers go to town. First off, the ward save. It saved literally 1/3 of the wounds. It was so helpful. More importantly, all those re-rolling to hits, and he just failed a bunch of armor saves. His 2-up goes to a 3-up, and he just rolled a bunch of 1s or 2s. So I did 5 wounds to him, and I don't even know who won. I assume I won. Either way, we stuck around. He even had the Dragonhide banner, and it just didn't help out enough. So very happy about that. I'm certainly going to kill that thing the next time around. Demigryphs took 5 wounds, broke. Probably the best thing that could have happened to them is they broke, got away. The Gut Star is so wide that the house is blocking them from charging again. So, yeah, that's probably the best thing that could have happened there. Empire turn 6. Everybody rallies, which is nice. Yeah, the Demigryphs worried me, but hey, they needed a 9 and they got it, so it's okay there. And I lied about how many wounds they took. They only took 1 wound. I lost the banner when I fled. Which actually, I'm assuming that the 2 wounds don't go away when the banner dies, because I'm assuming those wounds would not have gone on the standard bearer. If I'm playing that wrong, let me know. Anyway, it looks like that. So I open up on these guys. I'm really hoping, I mean, I kill half of them, so if this were a certain tournament, a Nova tournament, I'd get half those points. But I need those guys to fail their panic so they can't shoot at me, but that didn't happen. Yeah, Mornfinger gone. That was nice. And let's see, that is Ogre's turn 6. Overall, it looks like that. His lead belters are just going to shoot. They're going to shoot at my wizard because it was turn 6 and I was being really lazy about it. I didn't think to move him to give him a cover save. And yeah, so the lead belters move up. They're going to shoot at my wizard. The only thing I've going for me there is he's got the a 4-up ward, but I don't think that's going to be enough. His unit couldn't charge out, but this one character could. I think this is the Slaughtermaster. So he's like 6s to hit, high toughness, and he's got a magic phase which he can throw a buff on there. And he gets I think he gets Pan's Pelt. I think I let that go through because I figure I'm not going to wound him anyway because I'm not going to hit him. He does, I think, only 1 wound to me, but he wins combat, and I roll Snake Eyes for my break test, so it's kind of a moot point. We save those points, which was nice. He shoots at my Wizard Lord and epically fails, and my wards, any that did go through, my ward saved. And overall, it looks like that. So it ended up being a much more fun game than if his Gut Star had run off. If we're going by tournament rules, I'd get half points for the Gut Star, half points for the Lead Belchers, and easily a big win for the Empire. I don't know how big though, but I'm not missing many points. I don't think. Yeah, I haven't lost any characters. I thought I've lost, some minor units, but of the big units, what I consider my big units, I'm only losing the steam tank. So anyway, overall a big win for the Empire. Hope you enjoyed it.